Hi, welcome. Just making sure that we are streaming. So yes, welcome. So I decided I wanted to make this training today because this is a really important conversation to have. We hosted a workshop a couple of weeks ago. The Salesman Simple workshop is one of our signature workshops. And we have never ever tapped into the energetic side of doing sales as we did in that workshop. And I realized that this conversation is something that we need to have. We need to take this conversation and bring it up to the surface. And for you who don't know me, so my name is Angela Sandas, and I'm a sales consultant. And I help women turn the leads from cold to sold in days and to scale with simplicity to six figures beyond using virtual events. And this training, as you see on the title, is about how to overcome sales objections. That is the title, because that is probably what you think that you need to do to learn different kind of strategies to overcome different kind of objections. And then money will just come in and boom, all the sales, right? But no, we are going to talk about this because this is a story that I want to rewrite, because we are not here to overcome objections. When we are working with objections, it's not to overcome them. It's not to convince people, it's to convey people of your message and provide more clarity. It's to provide more clarity, because overcoming someone's objections or convincing someone of something, it's not something that I'm available for. And I don't think that you should be either. That is actually the script. And that is the thing that I want to really rewrite today for you. And I live and I breathe to help women kind of understand that sales is beautiful and things are changing and the world is shifting and the world is becoming more open to the energetic side of doing business, right? So it's not about convincing, it's not about pitching, it's not about overcoming objection, it's not about swiping credit cards. It's not what that is not what I stand for. I truly believe that sales is energy. It's an energy of commitment, right? When someone pay you, they are in the energy to commit to you. And I believe when you make a sale, yeah, it's going to support you financially. You're going to get money to be able to live your dreams, to provide for your family and all those kind of things. But it's also the star of your client's success. I believe that we are here to serve. I believe selling is serving. I'm not here to help you overcome your own fears or convince you to like me, your own fears of commit to me, right? Because I'm not available for that. And the old way of teaching, if they say this, do that. If they say this, do that. Does it work? Yeah, it's a script. But it's not what you actually say. It's who you are when you say it. And I understand that maybe you were hoping to, if they say, I'm working with someone else, you say this. If they say, now it's not a good time, you say this. And the thing is that it actually doesn't matter, because this is what I wanted to talk about. I can tell you what to say, right? But it doesn't matter what you do. It's who you are when you do it. And this is it. It's not what you say. It's who you are when you say it. And that is the thing that I really wanted to bring up to the surface, because this is something we need to talk about. It's not about how amazing worksheets you have in your program, or when you call this, or how fabulous it is. We all know it's great, okay? We all know your program is great, because none of that truly matters. It's who you are, and really allowing people to see that, to bring the clarity into that. You see, when we have an objection, and again, we are not here to convince people what it is. It's to help them get clarity, to give them support and really kind of seeing the truth. And this is something I just needed to talk about, because we are all chasing this instant, this shiny script, or this shiny tactic, or this shiny strategy that's going to bring all the sales. When it's inside here, the energy, who you show up as. And we talk about it a lot since we run events as our sales strategies, right? Can you have notes to follow in a sales script? Yes, of course, right? But if that script is not you, if you don't believe in yourself, if you're not showing up with that energy, that script doesn't matter. When we step into doing something with fear, with scarcity around other people's money, with desperate energy, that is what you attract. No script is going to change that. If you step in your sales conversation, even if you have a script, with fear, with mindset block, with scarcity, that they're not going to be able to afford me, that script is not going to matter. Doesn't matter if you know exactly what to say to when. The call is about taking a kind of taking a script, but it's not it's not about what the script says. It's about the energy you're in when you're in the sales conversation. It's about taking the outline of that script and make it yours, your voice, your truth, and how you convey that truth and really own it, claim your inner energy, and claim your value, claim what you stand in. And don't shift that just to please other people, just to close that sale. Okay? You're not here to have everybody like you. That is not what we are going to do. It's not kind of like, please buy this. I'm going to convince you. I'm going to meet you at every objections, and I'm going to convince you to buy from me. I mean, have you ever felt that after you have done a call and you kind of get no, and you are being on the call kind of an hour and no one buys, and you just sit there and you have been sitting an hour trying to best show them how amazing your offer is, and then nothing, disappointment. And then you end up kind of questioning yourself, and am I really supposed to do this? And you get angry at other people for not seeing the value, right? All these emotions comes up. That is the energy. That is the energy. And with that energy, and add a script that you think is some kind of magic thing, it's not going to happen. You need to shift that energy first. The script is not going to matter. You want to speak your truth, stand in your own power. And that is what I want to rewrite. Because I could give you top 10, maybe common objections, and 5 different ways of what to say to when. And still you end up crickets. Because it's not what you say, it's who you are when you say it. And that is what I want people to understand. And that is why a lot of strategies, doesn't matter what it is, fails for people. Because they're doing it with the same energy as they did the last one. I hate to send DMs. I hate to send DMs. I don't want to pitch on DMs. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. That energy, yeah. You're going to send it to people that hate reading DMs. Right? Because you can't do that strategy with that energy. If you bring that into an event, you hate doing sales, you think it's pitchy, salesy, slimy, whatever it is, because you have defined that sales is slimy, sleazy, pitchy, whatever, and you open cart for your offer inside that workshop. That is the energy you bring. what is going to happen? People are not going to buy. And if you need to convince other people, that kind of shows me that you are not convinced in yourself yet. Because when you know that you stand your ground, when you know you own, when you know that you are here to serve, when you own that, you don't need to convince anyone. Actually, you don't even need to do calls anymore. Okay. Business is energy. Sales is the most energetic part of it, if you ask me, because that is when you truly, truly can connect with people, right? And I know this is true, and this can be very hard for maybe to hear the first time, but I'm going to be the one that says it for you, okay? Because I want to help you grow. If you're getting a specific objection, maybe over and over and over again, okay? And it could be kind of anything, and sometimes we get an objection here and here, but I'm talking about you seeing a pattern, maybe a theme in the objections that you get all the time. I'm telling you, it's because it's something that you need to convince yourself about. Okay, that might be hard to hear. Let's say the money objection. That's a big one, right? For a lot of us in the beginning, that is the big one, because that is kind of something that people talk about a lot. And if you get that all the time, that is something you need to start working inside here. Okay. And we have a lot of inner work in mindset growth to do with money in general. And if you have people coming to you and consistently giving you the objection of money, I want to let you know everything on the outside is a reflection of what is happening inside. And if you get this again and again and again, it's going to show you that this is something you need to shift within you. You need to do that work first. And if you're getting the money objection, this can be hard to kind of hear, but this is how you're going to break through and truly close more sales, okay? If you get the money objection, I can promise you, you do not understand your own worth and value yet. You need to convince yourself that you are worth this investment. You need to you are still in the phase of convincing yourself that your program, what you bring to the table, whatever, is worth the money alone. And if you haven't convinced yourself yet, if you're not convinced that, yeah, this is what I'm worth, this is what I do, how can you ask someone else to trust you if you don't trust yourself, right? And maybe you're not sure how to speak or how to use your words to express that value. Maybe you're asking others to do something you haven't done yourself. You ask other people to invest $10,000 in you, but you have never ever invested $10,000 in you. Perhaps that's just a shift in your mind that you need to do. Work on your money mindset that you need to do. Because when you are truly and totally clear and stand your ground in who you are, who you're here for, what you offer, what you bring to the table, what you stand for, and how you serve, that objection, money objection, totally disappear. But you need to do the work first. So if you get an objection over and over and over again, you see a pattern. You need to look in and ask yourself, okay, who am I showing up? Who am I? What do I bring? How do I express the value of what I actually do? Who am I here to serve? Right? And here's the thing. So we run virtual events. I already said that. That is what we do. And this is the virtual event, the way that we do them. It's not only throwing together some information and value and throw it out there and make a pitch. The virtual event, it's me. I'm showing me. clearly who I am, what I stand for, holding my ground, showing up, committed, with energy, doing the work, no excuses. I show up who I am for, talking about who I am for, what I offer, my expertise, and who I serve. And that is the entire part of the event. There is no need to do a single call after that. The people that know that I am for them, I don't need to do a call for that. Okay? And every single one that takes the opportunity to join me inside my containers, that comes from that energy in, they are doing the work. They are coming up, they are coming to the calls. They are utilizing all the resources. They're fully committed because that is the standard that I invited them into, because that is how I showed up. That is the energy I brought to the table in the virtual event. It doesn't matter if it's an event, if it's on a call, if it's in the DMs, you do the sale. It doesn't matter the strategy. It's who you are when you do that strategy. And it's everything. It's not only sales, but now we talk about handling objections, right? And in our event, I'm not there to convince people to work with me. I know who I'm speaking to. I know that woman. I know her fears, frustrations, struggles, emotions, mindset blocks, objections. I know her. It's not about convincing her to buy from me. It's about standing in that, totally grounded. It's not about talking the talk. It's about walking the walk. Okay? You can't just say something to someone and think that is gonna convince them. You have to be that. It's not what you do, it's who you are when you do it. I can't say that often enough. Stand your ground, be solid, own it, claim it, stand your value. It's not a conversation about convincing. It's a conversation about serving and supporting. It's a two-way conversation. You're not here to convince people on the other side to become part of your world. Okay. You also need to make sure that is that someone, that person on the other side is someone that you actually want to work with, that they fit your standard. It's not about pleasing people. When we think about overcoming objections, you make it a numbers game. You make it to please everybody else. It's kind of you're making sales kind of a manipulating people, right? It's not about that. Sales is about supporting, getting clarity that you are for them and then they are for you, that they fit your standard as well. We don't go down to their standard. We take people up to our standard, the people that you want to work with. It's not about convincing, it's about conveying. It's not about manipulating people, it's about supporting people. It's not about pitching, it's about invitations. It's not about making money. Yes, it's a part of it, right? Because it's wonderful. I love money. But it's also about serving. Remember, when it comes to money, this is important. When it comes to the money part, you need to realize that money comes from people, right? And when people invest, doesn't matter if it's $5 or $10,000, doesn't matter. The only way that someone will ever invest is if they trust you. And you need to earn people's trust. But it's impossible to earn someone's trust if you don't trust yourself first. And when you trust yourself, you're going to look at things completely different. That is why I say, when you get the same objections over and over again, you need to look within first. Do I trust this side of me? Or am I trying to convince someone to trust me, but I don't trust myself? A sales conversation is not about to get that person in here. A sales conversation is a two-way communication where you stand your ground, maintain your own boundaries and standards and fully look about how can I support this person that is in front of me. And that is not, you're not convincing them of that. You're allowing them to see that for themselves because of how you truly own and claim who you are. You must trust who you are and speak of your value and understand your own worth, which allows them to trust you. And it doesn't matter if it's a virtual event or sales calls or a DM, okay? Yes, what you do matters, okay? You do have to do things. You have to take aligned action. But the action you take needs to be aligned. It's not just to take action. And I talk about this so much. I will say that your mindset needs to be aligned with the millions of dollars that you want to make. The strategy that you use, it needs to be aligned. The action that you take needs to be aligned with what you actually do. You need to be in alignment. The only way to be in alignment is to be authentic. The woman that you see here, me, I have done I'm just going to say it. I have done a fucking ton of shit work, inner work. I have invested in a ton of money. I did it because I had to continue to learn and trust the process, to trust other people, and most importantly, to trust myself. And if you kind of don't understand this, you're going to always be in this hamster wheel for the rest of your life. You're consistently going to be kind of wanting to please others, right? You're going to continually be convincing people to work with you, to go and meet them, try to please them wherever they are, instead of standing your ground and say, this is who I am, this is who I'm here to serve. And for you to come into my world, you need to fit that standard. And here's the thing, I talk a lot about showing up, doing virtual events, bring all of you inside, bring everything to the table. And when you do that, people are going to raise their hand and say yes, without doing any kind of sales calls. But I'm not the person to say, no, calls is bad, whatever. Right? It's not something that you want to do. No, sales calls is a beautiful thing. I'm open to calls. I do it all the time. Because I'm sure that maybe you might have a question that needs some clarity. But also, it's for me to see that we are a good match. Because when you work with your clients, it's a relationship, right? It's a commitment. When someone pays you money, it's an energy of commitment. They are saying, I'm here for this. And this is the commitment from my side. I'm handing you this money. The commitment from your side is to support them and getting them the result, right? You can't just give that to anyone. Not everybody can be available. Not everyone is going to understand you. And your job is not to convince them of that. Your job is to continue to maintain the standard and allow people to witness until they understand. And some people will never understand. And consistently, repeatedly, and you're going to kind of shift, and you need to bring that in. You need to embody that. Right? So when you kind of walk into the room, you already earn the trust. When you are a woman who knows who you are, when you are a woman who knows what you stand for and what your own value, and when you love and you respect the people that come into your life, because everybody you meet is a gift, right? And every connection you have is a divine connection. Every no you get is a gift. And when you do that, you're going to realize that you can literally go into a room and people will flock to you and say to you, how can I work with you? How do I work with you? And if you're not getting that yet, what I want you to tell you is that it's not about overcoming. It's about, who do I need to be in order to get that? Who do I need to show up? How do I need to show up differently? And this is what I want you to kind of understand that. And this I will share with you. I didn't start here. I had done a lot of work getting here. Right? Sitting here, holding my ground, my own power. And before I did all that inner work, I did a sale at any cost. I did not care. Just to get money in the bank, convincing people. I did hour-long calls, right? Followed scripts inside and out, and I have the questions on this side, and I got an objections, and oh, what to say, and I went here and I said it. To close a sale at any cost. Okay. And then I got to know. And I started to get irritated. I started to hate people, resenting people, doubt myself, my own worth. There was no script that was going to change that. I needed to change that in here. And I have done a shit ton of work getting there. And I was really focused on, before I was so focused on the numbers, the transaction in itself. But you need to understand this, that people are real souls. People are not statistics. It's not you it's kind of you sending your power and understanding how to invite people to plug into your power, into who you are when you stand there in front of them. And not everyone is just going to do that. Not anyone should do that. And it's not a numbers game. It's not about the amount of followers you have or your ability to convince people or whatever. I mean, we did a workshop 2 weeks ago, right? This was just me and one team member. And we still made $37,000 in sales. But it was me showing up, right? Me showing up, and at the same time I show up, standing my ground, hold my boundaries, and tell people this is where I am, this is who I am, this is what I bring to the table. That is the same people I want to attract, because that is the people that I want to work with. At the same time, it repels the other ones, the ones that I'm not for. And that is a beautiful thing. Okay? You need to be willing to lay out the foundation of being of service to the people that is going to take out the wallets with the hardworking money, hand it over to you, to make that commitment to you. And that is not a numbers game. You can't focus on closing a sale at any cost, trying to convince people. Okay? It's about listening, and listen what kind of support that they need, and truly, honestly feel in your heart that you can help them. And if you explain that, that gives them clarity. You don't have to overcome anything. You just need to express the value so that they see how they can be supported by you, and make it a no-brainer clarity. We are not overcoming, we are conveying so they get clarity. If you're getting no over and over again, number one, you need to look at yourself first. The inner work, you need to do that, because usually that's the same thing. Okay. 2, you're kind of allowing yourself to be around people that will never ever get that. They will never ever get it. Okay. There's just people that are not going to ever be ready to work with you, and you shouldn't kind of try to please everyone. You're going to let yourself go to them, not asking the right people to come to you. And you are making yourself available for that, trying to convince them, trying to go down to where they are, instead of holding your grounds and say, this is who I'm for. It's not what you do. It's who you are when you do it. You need to really, really own and you have a purpose, you have a gift that you are here on earth, put on earth to do, right? That is who you are. Stand in it, claim it, own it, let people feel it, let people see it, let people be inside of it. Then you invite them to join you. You got to remember yourself that no matter what happens, this is who I'm here for. This is who I am. You got to be so committed and trusting in what it is that you are an expert in, what it is that you do and who you do it for, and letting other people understand. That is how they're going to trust you, because that is how you're going to trust yourself. You cannot ask people to trust you if you do not trust yourself first. You teach other people how to love you by the way that you love yourself. You teach other people how to respect you in the way that you respect yourself. You feed other people to buy from you in the way that you bought into yourself, right? And I can just say that the online space has shifted. I can feel myself growing and evolving like never before. We did a shift just this last Thursday, right? I announced a really big shift. And my whole mission is to support women to truly embody their best version of themselves, the highest version. Stand your proper standards, your ground. Have boundaries. Have the courage, the strength, the power, the clarity, the trust to really to believe and live your own purpose. And sales is shifting. It's shifting. And it starts with conversations like this. It's not about manipulating people or pitching people. That is not what sales is about, and it's shifting. Sales is about supporting, not about pitching. It's about inviting, not convincing. It's about conveying. And when you really learn to trust and own that, no matter what other people say, that is when people are going to really, really lean into you and trust you. No one has ever said, like, here, take my $10,000. I hope this helps. When people invest, it's scary. Doesn't matter. It's scary. My last investment was huge. I know it was the best investment, but it's still scary. Okay. And you invest is because you are willing to do what other people are not willing to do. And that is why you can live the life that other people will not live. But it's still fucking scary. Okay. But I mean, I did this huge investment. It was scary. I did it because I know. I trust myself to do the work. But it was not only because of that. I did it also because of the other person on the other side. Because that person walked the walk. That person held her boundaries. That person stood her ground. That person knew her worth. That person did not try to convince anyone of anything, trying to please everyone. That person showed up with that energy. That is why, even if I was scared, I did that huge investment. Not only because I know that I will do the work and it's a strategy and whatever, it was because of the other person on the other side. Okay. So this became a little bit longer than I thought, but I think this is an important conversation to have. And I'm going to continue kind of talk about this because the online space is shifting. And I always say, like, you have a massive amount of coaches, of entrepreneurs out there moving into really tactical, complicated, unpersonal stuff. They spend 20 hours per week that avoids them to speak to people. And at the same time, you have people over here that is going to hand out their credit cards, giving you their hardworking money, right? And you are these people are not willing to speak to them, to show up for them, stand in front of them, telling them this is who I am. These people are trying to convince these people to invest in them when it's not about any kind of convincing. I don't want to convince people to work with me. I want people to work with me because they know what I stand for. They can feel that I trust myself so much that even if they are scared, they're coming to join me because I know that I can give them the result. I know my value. I know what I bring to the table. And that is not about convincing anyone or overcome objections, right? So I hope this was valuable for you. And since we run the workshop, this came up a lot in that workshop. And in that workshop, I just felt that I elevated so much. And I really wanted to bring up things on a higher level because the world is shifting and people are doing business with way more the energetic side of doing business than they were before. And this have come, of course, of the amount of noise that have entered the market, the amount of copy and paste, the amount of commodity that is in the online space that we need to elevate. And this is just a small part of it. And I want to invite all women that feels like they are born leaders and they understand the energetic, the importance of the energetic they bring to the table. And they are done hustling. They are done being in the hamster wheel. They are done getting no. They are done meeting people where they are. And they want to bring people up to their level. And they want to be the leaders. And they have that alpha spirit. And they know they might not be there. You might not be there. But I want to invite everyone that wants to become there, to be there, to step into that, to join my new free community. I'm going to share the link. It's a totally brand new Facebook group that I have created where we're going to really lean into sales in a more energetic way. Okay. Will there be strategies? Yes, because I'm a strategic into my bones. Will never ever leave strategy. But I also know that there is no strategy in the world that is going to help if your mindset is off doing that strategy, if you don't stand your own ground doing that strategy, if you don't trust yourself doing that strategy, yeah, you can have all the strategy in the world, nothing's going to happen. Your mindset needs to be aligned with the millions of dollars that you want to make end of day. Okay. But if you know that you are that woman, come and join me. Okay. So thank you so much for this week. And I really hope that this was kind of an eye-opener for a lot of people. And I want to rewrite this. And I'm going to continue talk about this, especially inside of my new Facebook group that is just for female entrepreneurs. So welcome and join me. And thank you so much for the time, even if I went over with some minutes here. So thank you so much for that time. And I will see you next week. So take care, everyone.